Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another YepBoat episode. I know it's been a while, but yeah, there was not much to talk about. Blizzard has not been doing very much for Battlegrounds, sadly. But today, we're looking at the patch breakdown. So we had a patch a couple days ago. I got some time to play, and we're going to review what has been happening. Then I'm going to talk a bit about the meta and how things have been shaping up, have been changing compared to last BG review, with, YepBoat episode, of course, which was a couple of weeks ago. So then we're gonna look at things that are coming soon for Battlegrounds, hopefully, and we're gonna discuss a little bit the future of the game, what we can expect, and then also a little bit about the channel, about this It's Been 3-1 channel that you're watching right now, what is coming here, the content that you can expect, and things like that. So I want to jump into it. The reason why we have not been getting much for Battlegrounds is there was this tweet by Ixar. Someone asked why we're getting so few patches compared to other Hearthstone modes, because Battlegrounds is objectively probably the biggest game mode. On Twitch, it is the most viewed. All the top streamers are playing Battlegrounds. And apparently it's not high on their priority list. Most of the time that the team puts into Hearthstone is still in other game modes. And the new game mode that we're hopefully getting soon called Mercenaries. They're putting more time into that than they're putting into Battlegrounds for whatever reason. We don't understand because it's such a big game mode. This explains why we're not having esports, no tournaments, stuff like that. It kind of sucks, but maybe soon they will change things up. First point, patch, before I start rambling on about this. So I'm going to go over all the things that got buffed, nerfed, changed, and how the impact has been. So first of all, we got Whack Toggle, one of the two... I hit my mic. Whack Toggle, one of the two new heroes, or old heroes, I should say, that got reintroduced and their hero power changed. So Whack Toggle has gone through a number of changes. First, it was too weak. I think it gave +1 attack to every tribe. Then it got buffed to +1/+1, I think. Then buffed again to +2/+1. I think they might have skipped the middle part there. But then she was too strong. She was too oppressive. Then they nerfed her. Oh no, they just removed her from the game. They didn't even nerf her. So they removed her from the game. Now, back into the game is Queen Whack Toggle. She might have even been left and removed twice, actually. So she has gone through a lot. I can't even remember everything that she went through. We could take a look at the patch notes, but you just need to know she has been changed a lot. Finally, she's now at the stage reintroduced +1/+1, and I think she's fine. I don't remember how many points I gave her in my patch overview. I think 4 points or 3 points, but I think 3 is more accurate because I've played her once. I got a top 8 because I did the rough farm curve. I did face a high roller, so maybe that's not the most accurate game. I was still over 20 HP and it just got one shot. So I've seen people do well with her. I've seen Whack Toggles do well in my lobbies, but also poor. She doesn't seem like a very consistent hero. She seems like a decent hero, but +1/+1 for 1 gold, if you have bad 1-star units, falls off very quickly, apparently. Who would have thought? So Whack Toggle, I think, is good. If you pick her, she's going to be decent, but don't focus on just the hero power, because if you just... It's not like Katoon. With Katoon, you can win games just using the hero power. Whack Toggle not, because Katoon has a scalable hero power. It gets better in the late game because it keeps scaling up. But Whack Toggle not. It's like a Jiraxis. Jiraxis is... It's like a flexible Jiraxis. It's the best way I can compare it. Jiraxis gives +1/+1 to all your demons. Whack Toggle +1/+1 to menagerie targets. With Jiraxis as well, you gotta find something else to do. Your hero power is not gonna carry you. You can have Wrath Weavers. Those start scaling up as well if you play demons. Additional scaling. You can pick or find Mal'Ganis. Do jugglers, or go big demons and even find the 4/4, forgot the name on tier 4 demon that gets bigger whenever you summon demons, stuff like that. You got multiple ways to scale the board. You gotta do the same with Whack Toggle, find Lightfang, Brand, or pivot into something else. Like maybe you just go full max or something like that. Use your hero power for tempo to level up and do find something else to do. I do think Whack Toggle is... It's hard to compare Jiraxis. So in one aspect it's better because with Jiraxis you can only roll demons. So you just gotta find demons in the early game, otherwise you're screwed. You have no hero power. With Whack Toggle you can buy anything you want and get value from the hero power. So in that regard it's easier to get Whack Toggle's hero power online and get value from it. Well, like I mentioned with Jiraxis, it's harder, but Jiraxis has more early tools to scale up, more early tools to get strong, like Juggler, Weaver, and stuff like that. While Whack Toggle needs stuff on tier 5 or 4 or 6 to start scaling up. So that's the difference. So yeah, Whack Toggle, okay, let's move on because I think that was most of what I could say about Whack Toggle from what I've seen from other people. and from my own experience. You can do a farm curve or just level normally. I think both work. I've only tried the farm curve. I've seen other people play her normal in the early game and then start hero powering in the mid game on better targets. It works. Just experiment with it. I'm not entirely sure yet. Hook Tusk, if you take a look at her, she seems really strong. Let's see. Actually, I haven't checked the tier list on HS Replay yet. So I'm going to take a quick look. I think the stats should have been updated by now. I'm going to do top 1% and Hook Tusk is tier 1. We have Katoon first, then Jandis, then Hook Tusk. Hook Tusk is insane. Almost has as many first places as Jandis, but less 8th and 7th places than Jandis. So in some regard, maybe even more consistent. I've had a lot of people in my chat ask how to play Hook Tusk and that they didn't know how to make her hero power work and that she didn't seem as good. But clearly, she is pretty good, almost to the point of being broken, I would say. But the same is said about Jandis. Low rank players also don't really know how to make that hero power work or abuse it, but in the high ranks, it's just like literally bullshit. I'm just gonna say it. Jandis is bullshit. So I think Hook Tusk just is a hard hero to master, but once you mastered it, it's pretty good. Now, how do you use this hero power effectively? There's a couple of ways. You can use the hero power for tempo, right? You can buy buffs, hero power that, get another buff, or find triples, find pairs. So you hero power stuff in order to triple or find the triple. You can just get money with it. If you get tokens, you can fill out the board. I've seen Hook Tusk boards early that are stronger or almost as strong as my Millhouse boards. Millhouse is known to have like early super wide boards, multiple tokens, kind of massive and unbeatable. I feel like Hook Tusk is almost in that same scenario. If the tokens are in hero power, the tokens get a bunch of good 1-stars, even hit early triples. She's really good. Yes. So it's a tempo hero power that can function to get triples and stuff like that. Hook Tusk, I would say practice her. I haven't gotten to play her myself. I've played 4 hours, 2 days straight now. Have not been offered Hook Tusk once, but I'm gonna stream again tonight. Yes, if you're watching this video tonight, or if you're watching this a different day, I stream most nights. I'm gonna pick her every time I see her because I do think she's really strong and I wanna master her as well. So I don't remember how many points I did give her in my meta update thing, but she is probably 4 or 5 stars. Yeah. Probably. So, and it's interesting because it's a worse version of the previous Hook Tusk. That explains how broken Hook Tusk was when you could discover 3 units instead of 2. So those are the biggest changes, the 2 new heroes. Besides that, we got a bunch of small changes. We got Steward, which I said was a buff. It went from a 3/4 to a 3/3. Sure, that's a nerf, -1 HP. But the effect, if it gets sold, instead of giving +1/+1 to units in the shop, it gives +2/+1. I thought this was a really good buff because you get more value, right? You lose 1 HP but get +1 attack, but the +1 attack lands on multiple units, so essentially it is a buff. Right? You take 1 HP away, but you get like +3 attack maybe on units that you buy. The issue though is that a 3/3 is super bad. You never take it early, almost, because you're gonna lose fights. Unless you're Millhouse, this unit is super strong, but other than that, it's kind of hard to keep a 3/3 around or justify it only to get value if you roll good units, like Divine Shield units on tier 3 or units that you want to buff, in order to finally get that value from the +2/+1. I've not seen people really take it or make it work as much as I thought it would be. So I think it's a very slight buff, because even before this, let's say they didn't change Steward, I think it would still see no play. So I think it would see like a little bit more play, is a little bit better, but still not really impactful enough to make a big change yet. Then we have Pack Leader, who went from a 2/3 to a 3/3. I didn't see any more beasts in the early game. I think this is a small change. I think it's okay, but yeah, no big impact either. Macaw from a 4/3 to a 5/3. Which is still a surprise. I don't understand, but okay. I also haven't seen people overpick Macaw now. I think it's still relatively the same as well. Same with Herald of Flame, who went from a 5/6 to a 6/6. I've seen a little bit more Herald of Flames now, but I don't know if that has to do with the buff or not, because the +1 attack, sure, early it still matters, but you, again, don't keep it around. It's not as impactful. I think Herald is now a decent tempo triple to hit, but it's still nothing you can really build on or build around, so it's not a good or a really good unit. Wildfire from 3 HP to 4 HP, right? Or from 4 to 5. I think from 4 to 5. I don't quote me on any of this. I rarely pick Wildfire. But yeah, I haven't seen Wildfire that much either. or like being overpicked. All of these units are still picked relatively the same. If I see a Herald or a Wildfire or a Macaw, I don't even notice the buff or the nerf. I just take it as if I would before this patch. So don't get too baited by these changes. Gar, exactly the same. Sure, it has 8 attack, but I haven't seen extra elementals this patch. I've seen a couple big elemental players, but not an unusual amount compared to previously. So the Lil Rag and the Gar buff, okay, again, sure, it's nice, but it didn't change anything. And those are all the major changes. And the last thing I want to point out, and I don't understand this, is the bugs. We had this entire list of bug fixes, 1 million bugs, all about the friend list and about other game modes. For Battlegrounds, they fixed one bug, and that was a name tag, right? They sometimes show a name tag, I mean the tag that shows the 7th tier of a unit, the outline. That was an annoying one, so I'm happy they fixed it, but Blizzard, please, we have so many more bugs. We have the outline bug, not from the name tag, but just from the card itself on the board that I've still seen so much. The Mom Bear bug and the Pack Leader bug are apparently still in the game as well. I haven't seen it myself, but I've had other people tell me that they still see the Mama Bear bug, which is a massive bug that they gotta fix. It's such a stupid visual bug. Just to name a few, those are the biggest ones. I don't understand how those are not addressed. And then lastly, I also want to tell them what they should have done with this patch, because I'm going to be honest, this patch, it seemed like they changed a lot. You could scroll quite a lot through a lot of units and heroes, but it was not enough. Nothing changed. All they did is, the issue with this patch is that they moved like 1 HP and 1 attack on units that don't matter. Buffing units with 1 attack or 1 HP that are just tempo units or that are situational units, like Macaw, like Pack Leader, like Herald of Flame. Those units are not defining or not great, or like some of these are just tempo options. So buffing or removing 1 HP is not going to have a big impact. These changes essentially did pretty much nothing, okay? Not nothing. They made the game a bit healthier. I think these are good changes, but they didn't change the meta. So we're still going to be stuck with the stale same gameplay that we had weeks before until the next big patch, which we might have to wait a couple of weeks for again. Luckily, it's going to be a massive patch, which we'll talk about later in this episode. But still, it sucks. It sucks. What they should have done for a patch, which they've done in the past, is move units from 7 tiers. That changes up, or that shakes up the meta a lot if you move units from higher tiers to lower tiers or vice versa. Look at Jungbot going from tier 5 to tier 4. It actually enabled some sort of mech meta. I picked Jungbots. I've won game with Jungbots. It's so fun to do new stuff. Maybe they should have moved Macaw to tier 2. I don't know how strong that would be, probably too strong, but then if you nerf the stats a little, it would just change the meta. People would pick more Macaws, you would see more like interesting Death Rattle build. Maybe it's a bit broken, but at least we get to experiment and have fun for like 1 or 2 weeks, right? Like, even if a change is maybe not the smartest, it is fun if it changes things up and it gets addressed properly quickly. Does that make sense? Like, I'd rather have them introduce a couple broken or new things that we can have fun with for a week, as long as they're not too toxic, right? If they don't just win every game, and then that they fix it until it's balanced, that we actually have more interesting gameplay going on instead of changes that do nothing. Because Whack Toggle enables Menagerie. Guess what? We had Menagerie for over a month already being the meta. Same with Hook Tusk. Hook Tusk enables more tokens with token triples and actually like no new strategy, right? It's pretty damn boring. They should also nerf and buff heroes. Let's look at Gendis. I don't want to say the bad word, but screw Gendis. Like, Gendis is one of the most broken heroes for a while with tokens. If you hit a token on turn 1, you pretty much can't lose with Gendis. Gendis is the most free top 4s and first places. Even if I hit nothing for my triples, if I play poorly, if I play greedy, I still get first places with Gendis. You can look at my streams. Every time I misplay as Gendis or don't get lucky, I still get first because the hero is so stupid. You hit a Battle Master, you're fine. You hit a Brand, you win. And they should have not just nerfed heroes, but also buffed bad heroes. Again, there's bad heroes that don't see any play, and it's just unfortunate. Instead of bringing 2 new heroes in the game, what if we just gave the bad heroes some love? And it's almost as if you introduce new heroes in the game because they become playable, right? And nerfing the good heroes also changes things up. So they should have done more, I think, big changes in this patch instead of these small unnecessary once. I don't know how much time they put into this. It seems like they made these patch notes in like less than a day. They're like, yeah, sure, let's do some 1 attack, 1 HP, make it seem like we did effort while we did nothing. I'm gonna stop rambling on. I think I've talked enough about this patch, complained enough. I think it's a decent patch. I'm happy we got a patch and they addressed some things, but bottom line is not enough. Now the meta, next point. Where do I begin? Well, as you can see, if you check the video timeline, you can see it's split up in parts. The meta part is pretty small, right? That's because the meta is exactly the same. I don't know what to tell you other than you can still play for tempo and get top 4s. Tempo builds can still transition into late game builds if you taunt everything. For example, you play taunt comp or a scuffed menagerie taunt comp, you can transition it late game with Bran, Lightfang, Scavenger, things like that, or just go poison scam. Poison with selfless heroes also still works beautifully. There is a bit more high roll now. Lobbies, and at the first, lobbies weren't really won by Caligos because of how aggressive the meta was, but now lobbies are actually being won by elementals and dragons again. And even beasts. I've won games with Macaw Goldrin, and Scallywag Exodia is also still a thing. Of course, we got the Scally Khadgar bullshit that wins lobbies. Yeah, not much changed. I think if you were good at previous meta, you're still going to be good right now. I feel like soon, in maybe 1 or 2 weeks, things are going a bit greedier, because usually how it works with metas is when a new patch is released, everyone tries out different stuff and they play way too greedy because the different stuff is all on higher tiers, right? The insane new units are tier 5 and 6. So people play very greedy and they get punished by tempo builds. So early meta, people are messing around. Lobbies are won by hard tempo builds that are not really very exciting or new, and then we have a bit of a tempo meta, and then very often after a while it goes more greedy. I don't know why I'm making this gesture with my hand, but you understand what I'm talking about. From very tempo, usually it ends up being greedier and greedier until finally at like the end stage of a meta, it's usually the greediest it gets. We can look at the prize meta. It was healthy at first, and then it just got super toxic, and in the end it was all about just who has the double Caligos on turn 8. That's it for the meta. Let's move on now to what is coming soon, TM, to Hearthstone Battlegrounds. One thing is that Ixar did another AMA on Twitter where you could ask him questions and he answers them. Most people ask questions about standard and duels and general Hearthstone questions, but there was one Battlegrounds question in particular that stood out, and that was about when you could see Hearthstone Battlegrounds ranks in the friend list. Because right now you see legend ranks, but everyone that plays Battlegrounds, myself included, is bronze 10. So most friends in my friend list who play Battlegrounds are all bronze 10. What is the point? I don't need to know that they're bronze 10. I don't care. I care about their Battlegrounds rank. So they actually talked about someone already working on this. Someone is already making visual mockups, or they were designing ways to show your Battlegrounds rank in the friend list menu, and that might actually be a part of the game soon. So that's very exciting, because that's something we've been asking for a while. It's a small change. It's interesting how small changes like these that are just quality of life improvements for the game take so long. It's interesting to me. At least we're getting it. And then the next big patch, they also released like a schedule of what happens in a patch. Like 20.0 is just a big standard update, so Fortune the Barons. And then 20.2, which is going to be the next patch coming up, probably in like a month or a couple of weeks, we don't know exactly, is going to be Quillboars, because that's the massive Battlegrounds update. So we're getting a new tribe, which we've talked about multiple times, we know nothing about, there's no teasers, so I'm not going to get into that again. And hopefully also an MMR reset. There's been a lot of speculation about ranks being reset. I get asked this so much on stream, when is the rank going to be reset? Every single day I get asked this, and every single time I have to say, next patch, we don't know, probably in a couple of weeks. And like we mentioned in previous BG review that I did with XD, he said that there's rumors of a hard hidden MMR reset finally. So, but not a hard hidden MMR reset. So it's only kept at like 10k. Everyone above 10k MMR is going to be brought back to 10k. So it's still a race or a battle between the Titans who can get top of the leaderboard, and it is more of an even level field instead of being the top dogs always being at the top. So that's very exciting. But yeah, we don't know how much of that is true. There's like no, I think, confirmation of that yet. So what is coming soon? Again, just a patch. Pretty much it. They haven't said too much about Battlegrounds. I'm keeping my hopes high because I feel like there's so much to come still for Battlegrounds that they haven't yet explored. Just to name a few. Cosmetics would be nice, Blizzard. A new board, a new bob, new voice lines, new emotes, and stuff like that. It's so easy. So easy, Blizzard. Come on. Last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about the channel, because I've been doing a lot of brainstorming about this. It's been 321. Does it have 321 on YouTube? Basically, this YouTube channel, I have had a lot of ideas, a lot of feedback from you guys, so I really appreciate all the comments that you leave. I can't reply to every comment, obviously. Yes, it's been 321 still, okay. I can't reply to every comment, obviously, because it's just too much. I don't have the time. I wake up, I edit videos, I stream, go back to sleep recently. But I appreciate the feedback. I noticed that I've been doing more challenges lately because I really enjoy Battlegrounds challenges. Like I played the game. I played 4 games at once. I played Hand and Brain. I have played the game using just my voice. If you want to see that, all of those are on the channel. I have so many more ideas written down, but the issue is that those videos are bad. Their videos are not bad. They take a lot of effort. I think those are the streams and videos that take the most effort to make, but they perform the worst. So I'm going to do less of those. If you are into that kind of content, I might still do some of it, but less in the future. And I might open up the second channel again. I had It's Been 321 Extra, which used to be my gameplay channel. I might open it up again and either do gameplay there or do the challenges over there to kind of keep that separate, because I heard you loud and clear. I even did a poll. You guys want educational content. That's why you subscribed, right? You want to learn about Battlegrounds, want to learn the game, want to see guides and tips. So that's what I'm going to try and provide and keep providing, the highest quality PG guide stuff. Yeah, end of sentence. So that's my main focus for now. I'm going to keep it at that. Also, I want to say a massive thanks. The support has been unreal. We're at 3.6k, I think, right now, subscribers. I really thank you all for that. But also the streams have been growing, and it's just so much fun to hang out with everyone. If you've never been to a stream, I stream most evenings 8 p.m. here on YouTube. You'll just, if you go to YouTube and to my channel, you'll see it pop up. Just pop in and say hi. Like if you want to see live gameplay or ask questions, we discuss plays, stuff like that. It's really cool to have this community grow and connects. Also on Discord, a lot of active people. It's so much fun. Thank you guys for that. And last but not least, I also want to mention that some people are dickheads. Basically, if you go in my comments and you're just being rude for no reason, I'm gonna call you out. The end. It's the internet. There's so many content creators that get so much shit in their comment sections or on Twitch, but they kind of ignore it because that's the norm, right? To just ignore those comments. But I'm not going to take it. Again, I've done a post on this on my community tab, but this is my channel, my community. I don't allow toxicity. So I appreciate constructive feedback, though. There are people that if you give legit feedback that I could work on, I thank you for that. Like, people told me I mumbled in the past. I am trying to speak more clear. I know I have an accent and I'm not always the clearest speaker. Or people said they didn't like certain animations, or that the video was too long, or they didn't like the music. I can work with that. I can say, okay, I'll look at that in the future. But if you just say, this is shit, you are bad, this is wrong, then, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Thank you for the feedback for telling me I'm trash. Nice. No, I'm just gonna call you out. I'm gonna ban you. The end. No discussion. I just want to let that get that out there. I don't know why, but I wrote that down. Internet can be a very annoying place, but not over here. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know, that end was a bit of a ramble, but I hope you enjoyed the patch breakdown, me talking about the meta. Also the first YepBoat from this new place, in case, I think most people have seen it by now, but I look at this beautiful shirt. Okay, thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next episode. This was a shorter one. I think I went maybe too fast through it, but I hope you enjoyed it. Nonetheless, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel and for listening to me ramble on. And have a good day. Take care.